Grampa's Café in Dania.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fay with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday hump day edition of the Lunchbox. Also, opening day night of the Heat Celtics Eastern Conference NBA playoffs. And I know Lubie's excited and nervous, and I don't know, are you wearing a pair of Depends or what's going on in the mind of Lubie, the fan, when it comes to this series where the Heat are overwhelmingly not favored, disfavored, dissed. What is it, 4-1 on the money line? And what playoffs have these people been watching? I mean, haven't the Heat been somewhat impressive, even though they're hurt?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, they have. Okay. I thought it was rhetorical. Yes, they have. They have been very impressive. They beat the number one seed overall in 5 games, pretty definitively, and they beat the arch rival Knicks and the refs in 6 games. So yes, I don't know. Defo's actually even more confident than I am. We both think they're going to lose, but I did a pick because Defo required that of me. But I don't know. My dad just called me. I did my obligatory. We yell at each other phone call about sports, and I just said I don't know like 5 times.
No, but the thing is, for an 8.5-point spread again for a
That's a lot in the playoffs.
It's opening games this playoff season on the road. I mean, I think, why not play that trend and why not get the 8.5? And Jeff Devo at the Forest, how are you today? I mean, I might do that. What that insane person on one of your sports gambling websites proposes with the Panthers is I might bet a little bit of money on the Celtics to win tonight's game, straight up on the money line, but I might also take the Heat getting 8.5, and I'll take the Heat to win the series tonight. And then if the Celtics win the game, I'll parlay whatever I get back on that into betting on the Heat to win the series tomorrow. Do I sound like a complete madman right now?
Sounds like a guy who's determined to go broke. It's hard enough to pick a winner. 14-1, though, if you want the Heat to win the championship, win the next 2 series.
That's not
14-1. That's not bad. Well,
That's
if they beat the
happening.
Celtics, why would
Nobody's beating Denver, okay? And I don't know what it is that people don't want to like Denver because they are not a glamorous team, but it seems like they have the best player. I mean, even Dickstein, my man up in Delray, I saw last night we had another nice event for the Best of Delray Beach app. We had a nice happy hour at Lulu's, which is a great place. But Dickstein is a huge NBA fan. He's just poo-pooing it all over Denver, saying they're boring and blah blah blah. It's like boring. They're fucking they're freaking mowing through teams like nobody's business, and they're up by whatever 20 last night. Then a funny thing happened. I fell asleep on my couch, and apparently the Nuggets also fell asleep at the same time because I woke up. It was a 3-point game, but lo and behold, they ended up pulling it out in the stretch. And this Jokic, I mean, what can you fault? They look like the best team. But Heat at 14-1, that's worth a flyer, maybe. And also 4-1 in this series. And here we are talking about sports and gambling, but we'll get into the food stuff soon. Defo, are you excited about now? We are actually on the verge of 2 home teams starting their conference finals runs. Today, the Heat. Tomorrow, the Panthers. And this doesn't happen very often, like never. So I am jacked for it.
It should be a lot of fun. I mean, gives us something to entertain ourselves with, certainly over the next couple of weeks on the morning show on South Florida Live. And it's nice to see. I love to see the area really rally around these 2 teams. I'm still not sensing the overwhelming amount of steam that we saw when the Panthers made their run in 95-96 on their ride to the Stanley Cup. We had Jeff Rimmer, former Panther announcer, on this morning. And he, of course, was there when they made that run and was the original play-by-play guy for the Panthers and saw a lot of Bobrovsky. And he had some very interesting insights.
Right,
I
because he
didn't
works
realize
in Columbus now. He's been. I couldn't believe that he's been the Blue Jackets. Was it play-by-play announcer for almost 20 years, 19 seasons? That's crazy to me because he was just here, right? So, um, and yeah, so he's impressed with the way Bobrovsky is back to playing like the way he did at Columbus when he was winning Vezina trophies, right? So maybe we can get that Bob to keep showing up. That's what the Panthers need. I'm very disappointed in you though, Defo, because you had Rimmer on, hadn't seen him in a while. I used to see him also at Runyon's occasionally. He'd be up there. I don't know where he lived, if he lived in the northwest part of the county, but you did not ask him my standard question of a guy who lives in Columbus, Ohio. What kind of Skyline chili? Is he a 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, or a no-way guy like you? You did not ask the Skyline chili litmus test.
I didn't feel like insulting him with that question.
He purposely leaves to come here year round. So I think that answered it.
Well, there's Skyline chili here too. So, but you never know. If you live in Ohio, in Columbus for 20 years, it's like I know.
Well, I think he's been living here. Is the deal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good deal. That's
he I guess goes up there for periods of time during the season, but has remained with his base here in South Florida, which I didn't catch, although I should have noticed it right away when he came on with the screened-in porch.
Yes,
Not typical of Columbus, Ohio.
I think he. Well, no, they do have some screened-in golf course homes there around Muirfield Village, where, of course, Jack Nicklaus grew up. Well, he has his home event course there now, but also like Jack Nicklaus. Moved to Florida and lived year round for tax purposes and other purposes. It's always very nice down here, but it was good to hear his point of view on the series coming up. I just think it's weird that we have, we here in South Florida are going to be rooting against the Hurricanes. And again, people in Carolina are going to be rooting against the Panthers because that's the name of some other longstanding teams up there that came before the hockey teams or something like that. Does that make any sense to you, Defo? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're rooting against the Canes. And,
Very ironic. Yes.
Yes. No, I mean, when you think Hurricanes, you think South Florida, you think University of Miami. When you think Panthers, you think Carolina Panthers and a team that plays in the NFL sometimes. Let's talk food. I understand there was a birthday celebration yesterday in the evening. Is this correct? It was involving 5-year-olds and gambling, or what exactly happened? Where was this?
Bonefish Max, very nice place. I guess they have more than one location. The original one, I believe, was the one that I was at last night, Sample Road, just east of Federal Highway. Great job for that lady that was searching for a menu that was equivalent to what would be expected of a New York diner.
A real diner. Yeah.
I have not seen that extensive of a menu in a place in a long, long time. Certainly, sports bars like to feature a variety of different things. We get that at Shenanigans with Patrick Utter, and a lot of other places have very diverse menus. Lubie's favorite place, of course, where he does Landlubbers, where he does the trivia on Thursday nights. Big variety on the menu, but tremendous variety on this menu, all very reasonable. And I would say there was a diversity of dishes ordered there. Everything from what you would expect to see, typical sports bar type of food, to sophisticated presentations of grilled salmon and other things. And excellent. They did a great job. Large
what did
party.
the kids have? Did they have a lot of mac and cheese?
Yeah, they ordered off the kids menu, as did I. I tried to save a little money there, but no, they all had a good time, and there was a degenerate gambling element because they have a skill crane room, which I think we lost 150 in the skill crane. It cost more than the dinner overall for 11 people.
For the uninitiated, this is that stupid machine where you pump in money and then you have to the thing drops down, the claw.
The claw drops down, and you have to pick up a cement block, with the claw that barely could, pick up a toenail. Yeah,
the claw has arthritic hands. This is the problem with these clause because they're in South Florida.
It's impossible. Yeah.
They all are like Defo with his hand. It can barely, it's all inflamed and it doesn't have a really good grip. Or yours probably has a good grip, but these machines, forget it. It seems like, oh, I got it, and then boom, down it goes.
Always, it's always.
Well,
like,
and they have like a heavy gravitational pull. Also, once you get the thing in the air, they, all of a sudden you see these jets fire up, and the gravitational pull takes the thing right off before you get it to the spot where it comes down through the chute.
I understand that machine has the magic platinum coin that's going to save us from the whole debt ceiling crisis. The problem is nobody can get that platinum coin because I think Ron DeSantis basically won't allow the platinum coin to be picked up.
DeSantis is playing skill crane with our lives. What are you talking about? He really is.
So is Kevin McCarthy.
No, that guy. I mean, you talk about a tool. Everybody was down on Nancy Pelosi when she was a speaker. Jeez.
I know we're not supposed to talk politics, but I went off a little bit about this whole debt ceiling thing, about the rank hypocrisy of, when one side controls the power, they seem to make a big deal of the debts and the debt ceiling and the national deficit. However, when their party is in the White House, it's all, oh, what deficit? We don't care about that. It's all going to work itself out. And now, when they're playing chicken with basically everybody's lives. I mean, if they stop sending out Social Security checks or stop paying government workers and start defaulting on U.S. Treasury bonds, you know what's going to happen, Defo?
I'm going to be in the streets. That's for sure. I love that Social Security getting wired into my account every month. It's fantastic. Yeah, I look forward to that second Tuesday of every month.
No, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a bloodbath for a lot of people, and it makes no sense to me because all you have to do is wave the imaginary wand to lift that ceiling again. Because let's face it, all money is just an illusion. It's just it's just something that, as long as people thinks that it holds value, then it's valuable. But if people think that everything is worthless, then everybody starts making a run for the banks, and then you'll see what happens after that. So, oh boy, it's going to be a lot of fun these next couple of weeks. This is our America now. So,
it'll be easier to go to Lipschitz and ask for an extended line of credit, even though I already owe him money off the first couple of series in the NBA and the NHL.
I'm surprised you didn't get into the PGA Championship pool. It sounded like you picked yourself a good squad.
You know what it is? I personally don't know the guy that's running the pool, even though I kind of vaguely know him through my friend. But I always used to go through my friend to put my entry in, and the guy's kind of particular about getting your money in and your entry on time, much like you are with the Mike Mayo contest that we do from 10 Palms.
12 noon every Saturday.
So I didn't feel like going through a whole rigmarole about paying a guy because I just don't know him that well, and I don't know if they really want that mentioned in any kind of printed material, either a text or because it could be Nick Navarro time. Remember when he busted that cleaning lady for running the office pool on the NCAA?
All you got to do is put in the note Sunday beers. That's all you got to do for the note. That's why you're sending the money for the repaying of the Sunday beers.
You could buy a lot of beers for the $50 entry fee, depending on where you were going.
Some of the beers I bought for our Poker League.
I wasn't that confident in my picks anyway, but it is fun to play.
It didn't seem like that. If you're not sending in the money, do you know how to Zelle? By the way, do you have Zelle?
I do have Zelle. I don't personally do it. The Mustang usually Zells any money.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that at least somebody in the household is fairly with it, because these things make life a lot easier in terms of.
It also makes it more difficult because there's no way to avoid paying a guy.
If that's the inclination, yeah, that's true.
Think about that for a second, right? If your money isn't in, it's not coming in.
I like it because when I do have the score, I could just Zelle a couple of child support payments to the lovely Michelle, get ahead of the game. And that's one thing on the scoreboard I'm very proud of. I have never been late and never missed a child support payment.
You and Nick Cannon.
You can call Mike Mayo a lot of things. You cannot call me a deadbeat dad. You can call me an overeating dad because I'll take them for $800 dinners in addition to the child support. How generous am I? I'm just singing my own praises today. But also just got another visit from another FEMA inspector. In case my insurance doesn't come through all the way, then the FEMA has their little bank of money of some things that might not be covered by insurance. I can say you can never stick your hand out too far when it comes to government cheese. And, I'm just answering everything honestly. Let the inspectors run through the house, and still waiting to hear on numerous fronts. But, that will make, I guess, we'll see how sweet life is going to be this summertime. I obviously have to do a lot of rebuilding around the house, and that's going to be very always a pain in the butt trying to deal with contractors in South Florida. Has anybody ever had success in that regard? Defo, do you have any good contractors that I could call?
Yeah, I work with some good guys because I had a lot of people that knew people who knew people. But yeah, I just had some guys leave the house, and actually, the big question was they were doing some work outside on this little patio that we have, and the big question was after we gave them the half down deposit, would they ever come back?
Did you ever see him again?
And they came. I was thrilled. I gave them the money right away as soon as they showed up. The
That's
rest of it,
That's a ringing endorsement because, like,
yeah,
I know a lot of guys, tradesmen, plumbers, electricians, contractors who play poker. And one guy I never want to hire is anybody who plays poker. It's because, like,
yeah.
you give them half the money,
It's
and
not good if they gamble. That's always a bad sign if your contractor has a big gambling problem and or I guess other habits that probably aren't favorable like drinking or doing drugs. But gambling, yeah, definitely would be a negative.
it's only a
'Cause
problem if you lose. Hey, speaking of poker, I've been remiss. I had to congratulate a couple of my friends again. I think I mentioned Eric won uh, one of the Pot Limit Omaha bracelet, or not bracelet, the trophy events in the last series they had at the Hard Rock was a couple of weeks ago. But he ended up scoring another 15K
Wow.
by winning a PLO 5-card PLO tournament. And that was, I think, it concluded on May 3rd, and that was after he had another like $20,000 score in one of the bigger events. So, like, Eric had a really good run there, including a trophy. And then my buddy Willie, who you've met, who's been, I think, at some of the remotes, he ended up playing Chris Moneymaker has now started his own poker tour, and they were at the Palm Beach Kennel Club. They're actually still there. It's like a 2-week run of different events. And my man, in a one of the opening events last weekend, a $500 entry fee. He finished fourth out of a field of
Oh,
823.
wow.
Fourth out of 823, which is good for a 21K score, 21 dimes. So seems like all my buddies just keep crushing it in poker, and I go out and somehow manage to get one horrific beat after another. But I'm going to try again tonight. I haven't played in a while since last Friday. Is that a while for a guy?
Sure. It's only Wednesday, by the way.
It's only Wednesday, but it's my favorite tournament of the week at the Hard Rock. It's the freeze out tournament, which means it's default. Some of these tournaments now, they let you buy in unlimited amounts of time for the first like 2 hours or sometimes even 3.5 hours, and that's like crazy because you have these madmen who just are willing to shell out 5, 6, 8 rebuys, and they'll play any draw. You can't get them off a hand with a crowbar. But in these freeze out tournaments, which is what I love, it's real poker. It's one and done. You're not allowed to re-enter. So your chips at the beginning, that's all you get. And you have to, play a little bit more cautiously and conservatively, which suits my game. So that's tonight at the Hard Rock. I'm sure this is fascinating to all the people out there. What did you have at Bonefish Max, by the way?
I ordered something that was good, but I probably wouldn't order it again. It sounded interesting. I wasn't really that hungry. I wasn't going to eat a lot, so I ordered a quesadilla parmesan. Believe it or not,
Oh my
which was a
God.
weird menu item,
Okay.
and it was
That
very
is something-
tasty. If I had
That's
been,
something you would find at a New Jersey diner, like quesadilla
I mean, I
parmesan.
thought it was an interesting entry, and it actually was like a chicken parm in a quesadilla. Which
You
was
are the
pretty
king
cool.
of the most effed up,
He's
like
not, well, yeah, but
Mexican variants. I mean, didn't we go to Tipperary Pub,
got
and
tacos.
didn't they have a quesadilla that had like feta cheese, or what was in that one? That was a
That
weird
wasn't
one.
bad because I think we were drunk, but and maybe inebriated in other fashions.
You've been to Fish Max, Mayo, because that's the thing is there's-
Bonefish Max has good food. I mean, everything they put out is good. This was good. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it.
Okay,
Yes,
Probably
it
wasn't
just-
something I would probably go to again. They make a Cuban sandwich there that
Yes.
actually is really, really good. A couple of people had cheesesteaks. Kelly's mother had a salmon dish that looked really, really good. I mean, it was well prepared. Everybody left happy. This didn't even scratch the surface of what they offer there. My son had a salad. There were a lot of.
What did the
different
grandkids have? The grandkids.
I'm not sure, chicken tender type of thing, probably. But
Right.
you know what? It's weird because when you see a restaurant that makes a ton of stuff, you're thinking, well, maybe they don't do any of this particularly well.
Yep.
But I think you can order with confidence anything on the menu in this place, which is good.
So
And-
you have two grandsons, right? And you just
Yes.
had the other one celebrate at Yard House, this one at
Right.
Bonefish Max. I just want to get a sense because
Next time we're going to Runway 84. Sure, Anthony Bruno will be happy
Now
to
you're
have a bunch of
talking.
5-year-olds running around there. Yeah. Does he have a skill crane room? Because that would be better, for him to making money than even charging for the premium wines that he has.
I think they don't have that, but I did do well. My daughter in her younger years, we had the parties at. We did do a Chuck E. Cheese party one year, and
I thought
that
Chuck
was
E. Cheese a little overpriced for kids. It's
Oh,
like $30 a kid or something.
Chuck E. Cheese. It is a little overpriced, but they do
Yeah.
have fun. And the pizza. This is going to sound strange from me, Mister.
You
Snob,
like the
but
pizza at Chuck E.
it's
Cheese?
not the. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I took something.
No,
that
I know
day.
you were inebriated
Well, the
when you
problem
were
with
there.
the pizza is they don't serve it right away. So like you're so hungry by the time you get the pizza
Right.
that it makes you think the pizza is actually edible. Because I feel the way you feel. I always leave there going, "Oh, the pizza was pretty good," and then I think later I'm like, "I don't think it was good. I just think I was freaking hangry." And they know to make you so angry that
Yeah.
they can give you whatever slop, and you'll just take it because there's kids running around. You're about to have a freaking seizure. You're hungry, so you're like, "Oh, food that will go down my throat." That's a win.
So I think I might have ruined my daughter's life forever. Not at a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, but before that, we used to the early days of my divorce. I would pick her up on a Sunday morning. We would just go out and do something. We'd go to the Chuck E. Cheese in Pembroke Pines. And one time I'll never forget, she did something. She hit one of these machines and it spit out like 500 tickets.
Oh,
it was
great.
like the
You kind of froze up on us, Mike Mayo. I mean, it must be messing with his pipes there. Yeah.
Interested in
In
this
the
story.
middle of that story. Uh, I'm sure he'll come back to life eventually, this guy. No, you know what? I thought about Lubie. I said this to the people that were there that instead of sending these young kids in there with like dollar bills, we should send them in there with a sledgehammer.
Yep.
Which sounds like, and that would be, and it wasn't like, look, I mean, kids are going to be addictive on that sort of thing because they're winning stuff and they're getting free stuff, or so they think. But I do have about 100 of those little plastic ducks, the ones that come, it's $1 and you have to win. They let you play until you win with that particular skill crane machine, and then you end up with like a plastic duck, and we ended up with like 100 of them yesterday. So, but a sledgehammer would have been more appropriate. That shouldn't take away from the experience. I would recommend Bonefish Max to anybody. I've been in there many other times for other reasons, not necessarily always a kid's birthday party, but a restaurant that can handle like a wild bunch of kids and everybody else. I mean, there were people in there that looked like they were having like business meetings. There were people coming in after work, people coming in to watch games. I mean, all kinds of different reasons to show up there. It is a Pittsburgh Steelers stronghold during the course of the football season. A lot of Steeler fans go in there.
Okay.
But I mean, you can. I believe this, and you obviously agree that you could order pretty much anything off the menu. And while it might not be like the Ritz Carlton, still it's very, very good, and you can order with confidence, and the prices were extremely reasonable. I thought.
Well, I
Good
was
place.
cut Mayo off before he even began because I know the wrong ordering thing, and I agreed with him on certain. Well, we all agreed when you go to a place wanting a good steak and you ask for end cut. If you are shocked that it's well done, then that's on you, not the place.
That you should know. Yeah.
Like it's okay to get end cut. Just
Yeah.
be my grandmother who we would cook her steak an extra 15 minutes when
My mother liked it well done, and we were appalled by it, even though we loved her dearly.
it made us sick. My grandfather was a butcher, so like he treated meat was his life, and it made us all sick. But you do whatever, you make her happy. She wouldn't eat it otherwise, so you had to do it. But like other than that, Bonefish Max, literally, the whole menu's all over the place. Like,
I mean, as diverse as anything you'll ever see. It really was. With a lot of options in the different categories too. I mean, appetizers, salads, main courses, all kinds of different stuff. I would imagine they do wings and ribs and all of that as well. So, pretty good job. What was impressive though, the young man that was serving us, whose name I didn't get, we all arrived at like slightly different times. We ordered at different times. We were separate checks for 4 different parties, couples that were there. And, a lot of complications. And the guy got everything right. It really was great. Never made a fuss about anything. You never saw him make like a Mayo face about the fact that we were ordering in, bizarre fashion, and came up with a lot of different things. and really did a terrific job. I mean, the server in this case deserves nothing but commendation, and I think we rewarded him very handsomely with a rather hefty tip. So
Well,
that was good.
this is finally a place you guys talk about a lot of places, and you usually am curious because I haven't been there. There's a place that's literally my home base.
Yeah.
I know it's owned by you, but we've been a bunch of times, and my family's insane. And the kids not only run, they do yell, and they are active, and we all are very talkative. And my mom will do the staying thing where she wants to change a whole dish around,
Yes.
and all the things that would make Mike Mayo literally want to tear off his skin.
Oh no, he would quit Let's Eat South Florida if we
I'm
posted all
back,
of the
by the
different
way.
things that we did. Yes, no, it's good to see you. We
I
were
don't know what happened. The internet just blew out here, and it did not come back for a little bit. Did you have a full discussion about Donald Trump versus Ron
What I'll
DeSantis?
say is they do. Yeah, right. What I'll say is they handle it like pros. I've been there so many
They
times.
do, yeah.
Servers, and they are they do we leave that place every time going, huh? I love that. Like you never leave, never once, and we've been there a lot. I guess regional chains, what Mayo would call it, and you'll have a missed dish, like even a weirdo dish. I've done the default thing where I ordered a dish I would never order anywhere else, and I wouldn't order it again, but I wasn't dissatisfied.
You're talking Bonefish Max?
Yes.
Still?
We're talking about, in general, I mean, a lot of people make comments about, you hate the notion of big parties. I mean, there are certain restaurants that really do handle this sort of thing extremely well. And they did. I have to give them, 1,000%, complimentary, kudos on their service yesterday because, we made it as difficult as you could. Coming at different times, separate checks for different parties. I don't even remember specifying that. I don't know who told the waiter, hey, these are couples and, we want the checks to come out that way. But it does make your life easier. And, the guy handled it like a champ. I mean,
I
really
guess the world has changed because when I had, my kid was like 5, we would like invite the kids for the party, but the parents would just like go away, and then we'd cover the cost of all the kids.
Yeah.
So there weren't a million checks. I had to foot the bill as usual, and we had some parties. One time it was at a bowling alley next to the Mardi Gras racetrack. That holiday bowl, I think it's called. But
yeah,
pizzas and bowling for the kids. I ran across the street.
Best French fries in the world are in a bowling alley. Best French fries, always at a bowling alley.
I tried to get make the money for the party by playing a little poker instead.
Hustling the kids in bowling. Yeah.
No, not the bowling. I ran across the street to the casino to play poker while they were all bowling during the 2 hours, and I tried to make the $300 that I needed to pay for
kids bowling parties can go haywire though. They can run amok a little bit, with the
they throw the ball the
misuse
wrong way.
of the ball. Yeah, I mean, and the bumpers in the gutter are sometimes a problem. That they can do. I've done that. This was a different way of doing it, but if you were going out to dinner with your family, whatever, say it wasn't a birthday party. These people were well equipped, and it shows you that you can train a staff to handle these kind of situations where it isn't a problem. I mean, certain restaurants naturally aren't accustomed to that sort of thing. You bust into Café Seville with a party of 12 and a bunch of little kids. Maybe they don't handle that situation as often, but you can handle it well. That's the thing.
There are places, look, that their bread and butter is larger parties. They have private rooms. They do, birthdays, graduations, retirement parties. I mean, Joey does private events all the times. A lot of times they do luncheons, and not during regular service hours, but they'll have a big function for a charity. Just yesterday, our friends at Runway 84 had a big, the annual Dan Marino Foundation for, I think that benefits the autism and autism research. They had, I think, 130 people in there yesterday for lunchtime at Runway 84. And I know Joey had a special party last Friday at Café Seville, which made him miss his own horse almost winning and making it to the winner's circle for the first time. So, but yeah, I mean, restaurants do it, but behind your back, if you're going to be, giving them 18 different credit cards and all that, they'll probably, be whispering, or now they go onto some websites and or social media and just start grousing about it.
No, I saw none of that though. I mean, they seem very accommodating.
No, that's good. And that means it's a good, well-run place. They don't give attitude. And yeah, that's all part of the game. This is the business we have chosen. If you are making your money as a server or a bartender or hospitality worker, you just got to realize not everything is going to be easy every day. There are challenges in life, and sometimes there are difficulties. You hopefully that you get customers who are smiling and accommodating and are not sniping and bitching all the time. But on those occasions that you do, just smile and say, all right, I'm just happy to be here and help you, and hope to see you again, or maybe hope to see you never again. But that's all part of the game. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that your grandsons are getting a taste of the restaurant world and not just having these parties like pool parties or things like that, because it's nice to go out and make it an occasion, depending on who's paying. Do you foot the bill for this, or is it her dad?
No, I told you it was separate checks.
Let's
So
split
all
it
the way
up.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
But which
That's
is good. I mean, you don't necessarily want one person to get whacked for a nickel on a party like that. But it was very well done. I like I said, I've been there before. There are a lot of different sports bars that have similar things. These guys had tremendous variety, and I really do believe they did everything well. And you could not. I've never been in there and had a bad time with the service ever, no matter what
That's
the
good.
circumstances.
That's good. And if you
Sounds
find a
good.
place that is accommodating and that suits your need, there's nothing wrong with going back to the well.
We'd go right back with 20 little kids tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it.
Bring a lot of ones
Hey.
though for the skill crane room.
And you're right. They should ban that machine. That seems like it should
Oh,
be
no, that's
illegal
100%.
gambling.
How does Ron DeSantis allow this? I mean, seriously, with all the things he's trying to do to help people become, better citizens and live better lives, how could he not ban skill cranes
I'm gonna
for
withhold
the
comment.
parents involved? I mean, never mind the schools. He could take all the curriculums out of the
man.
schools. He just should get rid of skill crane once and for all.
The things I keep reading and headlines I see, it disturbs me more and more, but it also makes me glad that I'm not in the news business anymore, because I would just be, I don't know.
You would never have a day where you didn't have something to
right,
write
of
about.
course.
Never.
Well, yeah, and I'd never have a day where I wasn't outraged about something.
Yeah.
And that's why now ignorance is bliss. I do have to pay attention. It's in my nature, but all I know is it's good to just soothe the nerves with a nice meal here and there, a nice. What am I getting to? I'm getting to our first live spot of the day, which of course is for Tropical Acres, and today's a big day. It is officially the start of summer season, which means Twin Lobster Special.
Well,
is
it
back.
begins tonight. Are you kidding me?
It begins tonight, and $39 gets you a pair of live steamed whole Maine lobsters, along with a side dish, a salad, a bread basket. You can't do any better than that for $39, and you go in there with a dining companion and maybe get yourself one of their great filet mignons or a prime rib, and you're going to have yourself a beautiful surf and turf meal. Again, these Twin Lobster Special. It's a summertime tradition at Tropical Acres, and it's available every Monday through Friday night. It is also available on Saturday at a higher price. So the special rate, $39 Monday through Friday. Saturday night, you can still get it, but it's just going to cost you a little bit more, not too much more, because they take it easy on you at Tropical Acres. And talk about a place, if you're going to have a graduation party, retirement party, any kind of party, they have the big private rooms in the back, and they are available for any occasion. Tropical Acres is at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95 and the airport. They do a terrific job. They're open 6 days a week. It's closed on Sundays now, but you go in there and Studio Alley family will take great care of you. Happy hour on the bar, 4:30 to 6:30. The punch card, loyalty card, every 12 entrees that you purchase, you get the 13th one for free. There's just so many reasons to go to Tropical Acres, and you really can't lose there. Talk about that's a win-win proposition for everybody. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
No skill crane room. You haven't seen Casino Skill Crane, have you, Mike Mayo? You frequent a lot of casinos, with the Hard Rock and all of these places you go. No. Have you seen this? Where they have a skill crane machine? It's $5 a throw, and they have like the plastic eggs, and they each have the plastic eggs have a different like dollar bill in there.
Denomination.
Some have 100, some have 20s, some have 50s, some have 5s. And while it's impossible to lift any of them up, they still have the illusion that you somehow can put $5 in and pull out a $100 bill, which nobody ever does. But I mean, talk about criminal activity. That would be it. That was the worst application of skill crane I've ever
I
seen.
always like the waterfall cascading where you have you insert the quarter, and then if yours lands the right way, it pushes the quarters
Oh,
down.
that
It's
one.
not,
Oh, that
and
one's
then
crazy. Yeah.
and
You ever
and
win that?
I think I
No
actually
one
hit
ever
that
has
one.
won a dime on that thing.
And everybody tries to push it and nudge it and give it a hip check and all that, and it just doesn't.
That is just straight away. Just put. You may as well be putting money into a parking meter for somebody else's car. I mean, because you're going to get no benefit from anything that you play on that. It's absolutely hideous. All right, more coming up on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. By the way, that twin lobster special. A lot of people think, what would you rather have, 1 2.5 pound lobster or 2 pound and a quarter lobsters? What do you think in terms of taste?
I would rather have 2 pound and a quarter
I'd rather have 2
lobsters. I think the smaller lobster is a little bit more delicate, sweeter
Yep.
meat. And when you have 2 bodies to work through, I love working through all the crevices and eating.
You don't eat the green
little
stuff,
sweet-
do you? You eat the green stuff?
Sometimes if they bring
Oh,
me
you
a
do?
plate of
Yeah,
like
wow.
spaghetti with it, like spaghetti with the green stuff is delicious.
It's kind of like Skyline chili right there. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
brains
Or
of
if
a
they put it in a
lobster.
quesadilla, Parmesan, I would have it. But
Quesadilla Parmesan was interesting.
It's good.
I wouldn't say it was the worst thing I've ever had. I mean,
no,
it
I
certainly was
love
not
those
that,
bizarre things. Yeah, and
You might have liked this. Actually, it was more up your alley than mine. It just was. I could have eaten the whole thing easily, but I wasn't really starving or nothing. So
I need to go check out a Bonefish Max. I've
You would
gone
like it.
past it. Yeah.
you would like it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll check it
You know,
out.
the professor.
Some little kid gnawing on your leg as you're trying to go ahead and have that steak that you just ordered.
It might be
but no,
Jeff Van Gundy sometimes ends
Yeah,
up
yeah.
gnawing on a
good
leg.
variety though, and they really do a nice job there. You can see why it's popular. All right, coming back, more of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox in a moment.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Café in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. A little bit of a debate raging here on the chat lines about whether that whole notion that I posited about smaller lobsters being sweeter is complete BS or not. I've just found that some of the larger lobsters, the 2 to 3 pounders, sometimes the shell is much harder to navigate, harder to crack. And so, look, to each his own. When I'm up in Maine at the lobster pound and I'm only paying either $8.95 a pound, yeah, I'll get a 2.5 pounder up there. But, restaurants down here, you go into some of these high-end steakhouses and say, oh, we have a 5-pound lobster for the low price of $185, or a 2.5-pound lobster for, $100 at the Palm or whatever. I'm sorry, I kind of like, that twin lobster special at Tropical Acres. I also know that Kelly's Landing often does a live lobster special. You could get a nice little chick lobster for $19.99. And again, lobster to me, it's one of those things. If you eat too much of it, you're going to have a hand like Defoe's. It's going to blow up with the gout or something like that. So I try to take it easy on exactly, how much shellfish I can consume. So I do think the sweet spot for me anyway is like the 1.5, 1.75 pounders. And you know where I get that is Delaware Chicken and Seafood. But we're going to talk about that later. We're going to be out there next week. And we're going to be, obviously love going out there for our monthly visits. Speaking of, I know that you mentioned on the morning show today that you haven't been seeing me eat on the Lunchbox lately, and I kind of wanted to be stealthy about it, but Mike Mayo is in austerity mode now. He is on a, I don't like to use the 4-letter word diet, but even me, after, consuming this huge amounts of food, a 5-restaurant day, a 3-restaurant day last week, Wednesday, Friday. And then, of course, the culminated by the Mother's Day celebration, where I'm not even a mother, but I just ate my brains out. I said, it is time for a little bit of diet. So I've gone keto.
No.
Oh, my God. Okay, and that's the show. Well, we'll join you guys again in September.
No, this is going to be a 5-week thing. I'm not putting any goals. I'm not setting any numbers. I'm not losing any.
You did this before, though, when you went from like whatever you weighed to like 6 pounds heavier after a month.
Well, that's why I didn't want to say
the pizza
anything.
thing was the tough one. I was explaining this to somebody the other day. They were asking me about the show and everything, and I was telling them about your 5-bagger that day, and that you went from the pizza spot, which was very filling, and it wasn't like you were holding back.
No,
and then a couple hours later, we're at another pizza joint.
Del Rey Pizza, yes.
That
and
was
then a pastry
frightening.
shop, and then another pizza at Vic and Angelo's.
Wow.
And then where did I end up? Shenanigans, where I had like a full brisket sandwich along with wings. That was insane. And it was at that point,
that's a warning sign from the gods of health.
Is that what it is? That was your rock.
You know what the warning sign was? I went and I was going to put on a pair of pants for Mother's Day meal.
Oh, the Ranger jersey.
No, and it was just like it wasn't even close to the button.
Oh yeah, that's.
And I was like, oh shit, because like I wear a lot of these elasticized stretchy pants now, which is a dangerous thing.
Stands belt slacks, man. My
Yeah.
favorites.
That's you reach a point in
Chick
time.
Hearn, the Lakers announcer, used to hawk those all the time. Sands belt slacks, no belt.
It's basically that point in your life where you say, I've given up and I just don't give a crap anymore. The Sansabelle pants, the sweatpants,
You would have had to wear a diaper though after a while, the way you were eating. I mean, but
Who says I'm not?
Say, in moderation? I mean, we still need I mean, you're Mike Mayo, food critic. You can't be walking around eating a celery stick every day. I mean,
No,
come
but
on.
look. I'm not. It's me. I'm not denying myself, but I'm just going to be eating nothing but proteins and vegetables and fruits. And when some people say, "Oh, you can't,"
What
you
about key
still,
lime pies and pizzas and
but
all of
no,
the good stuff?
none of the pastas, none of the pizzas. And
Potatoes
even
are
last night-
vegetables, aren't they?
When we go to Grandpa's, you're not going to get a bagel. How are we going to go to Grandpa's and you're not going to have a bagel?
Omelets. I'm back on eggs. Did you see? I went to my local Walmart market this morning. Eggs are below $2 a dozen, $1.70 a dozen for eggs. I of course get the organic ones that are still like $4.99, but like I can afford eggs again. So I've been eating scrambled eggs and cheese omelets every morning this week after my walks.
That'll take the weight right off.
I'm doing so.
No,
I keep thinking of that scene in Raging Bull when he goes, De Niro's sitting with the mob guys, and they go, "Hey, Jake, looks like you put on a few," and he says, "I'll take it right off."
I'll take it right.
That
off.
should be your attitude, right?
Well,
I'll take it right
of
off.
what his brother said to him is a little more something and a little less eating, and then you'll be right on the bat. So
the problem is, yes, you'll lose weight, but first of all, it's not fun for us. That's number one. That's really what matters here. Second,
this is entertainment. Don't you sacrifice what you're doing for entertainment?
You always put the weight back on. Like when people do these, Shirley's the queen of doing the crazy.
I don't want to do a crazy diet. I know. Look, the point is this. I know I'm over 240 now, and that's my Mendoza line. When I get over 240, it's just not comfortable to be in my body at that point.
Yeah.
It's harder to reach over and tie your shoes. Everyday activity. It's just
you're sluggish.
It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
And by just doing this for 5 weeks, I'm going until my birthday, June 17th. Okay. And we'll see. It should take off, 15 pounds. We'll see. I mean, I'm still going to drink, but it's going to be only red wine and vodka, none of the heavy brown liquors. I'm still going to. Okay, so let me give you an example. Yesterday we had the function for the Best of Del Rey. I went to.
Did you make it through day one?
Yeah.
Under the principles that you're going by.
Yeah. So
that's the toughest day of any kind of dining to make it through day one.
Actually, when did I start this? Oh, yeah, Monday morning after my last supper.
There you go. So you're well into it.
So yesterday, Tuesday night, at the event, I had 2 vodka sodas with a splash of cranberry. That's light on the alcohol and the carbs. I mean, light on the carbs.
In general, no alcohol is good for a diet.
That's better. But you saw me. I already did the no alcohol portion of my year during Lent.
You didn't lose any weight during that period.
No, and you saw how grumpy I was. And it just was not good for anything. So
no,
we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But then I went out to dinner. Dickstein said, "Oh, let's go out to eat." We went to this place called Jimmy's Bistro.
Well, there's your problem, though, is Dickstein. Again, it's popped up again, just like it did about a year ago.
It's not us.
Dickstein is not a problem. He was actually losing weight and also going keto for a while. But we went to this place, and I don't know if I've talked about it before. Jimmy's Bistro is kind of off the beaten path. It's like just about a half block south of the main drag, Atlantic Avenue, right across from that Sunday Village that used to be the Sunday House. It's all being renovated.
The Sunday House no longer exists?
Well, that whole block is being redeveloped, but right now it's demolished and everything. Wow. Well, no, the Sunday House itself still stands.
That was like
but that whole area is fenced off and being redeveloped. It's going to be, I think, a 1 to 2 year project. So the Sunday House, which used to have a really good brunch.
They don't do that. I mean, that was like a mainstay of South Florida was to go to the Sunday House for the brunch.
It is not open now. I think it's been closed about a year. I think it closed last May. This whole redevelopment project is ongoing, and they think they're aiming to be reopened sometime in 2024. But be that as it may, right across the street, Jimmy's Bistro is open. It's just like a small little, my kind of place, like independently owned, chef that has good training. And it's just like probably maybe 10, 12 tables in there, maybe 35, 40 people, a little counter bar area where people can sit, beer and wine only. they are known for. They have one of my favorite 5 dishes in Delray Beach. It's the tomato bisque that comes covered with this puff pastry shell. So it's kind of a tomato bisque in croûte. Now, being that I'm not eating the carbs, I peeled off the whole puff pastry and gave almost all of it to Dickstein. I have one little sliver just to have a little bite
I
of
thought
the
you were
puff
going to say
pastry.
Joe Casal's dog was there, and you fed
Tasso.
Tasso the biscuit. Yeah,
I
nice.
did see Joe
Under the
at
table there. Yeah, here you go, Skippy. Here you go.
I saw
Right.
Joe at the happy hour, and he did not bring Tasso because it wasn't a dog
The dog was upset though.
amenable. Oh yeah, he had a.
He
yeah,
posted
he
that on
had-
social media.
But anyway, Dickstein and I had that tomato bisque, creamy, delicious, and then I had a nice piece of fish. They always get fresh fish of the day from Captain Clay's, is one of the better seafood and fish markets around South Florida. There in Delray Beach, they always have fish specials at Jimmy's from Captain Clay's, and they had a yellowtail snapper, which was just lovely and a very light sauce. And it usually comes with the jasmine rice. I said, no, no, no. I just want nothing but vegetables. So it was like the curly Q zucchini and then the asparagus. It was over a pile of those 2 vegetables. My fish, my vegetables. I was very satisfied. So there you go. You can go low carb and not have to really forsake flavor or quality, because it's just about eating proteins and fish and meats and steaks and things like that, which I got no problem doing that.
All right,
I mean,
stick to it, man. 3 days in, that's admirable.
I feel leaner. I don't know if my face looks any thinner,
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, I mean, are you using some kind of filter? Because you look spectacular.
yeah, considering
show,
that I
yeah.
ate about 15,000 calories for 3 days in a row last
Yeah.
week, I should
No,
be
no,
dead.
you had gone Nick Cage. You were substituting food for booze, but
Oh,
it seemed
no.
like you were on a mission, to just do yourself in.
By the way, isn't that
I was
one of
waiting for Elizabeth Shue to show up and start making out with you at one of these restaurants.
I love that movie for various reasons, but
Good movie, no
that-
question.
That scene when he's like pushing the shopping cart through the liquor store and he's just like
It's great.
twirling it and doing
Yeah.
a little dance and throwing every bottle in there. That's
It's like arriving at Sandals, one of those all-inclusive resorts, and you see how the room is stocked with booze, and you're thinking, my God, did they film Leaving Las Vegas in this place? It's unreal. All right, well, congratulations, Mike Mayo. That's fantastic.
yeah, no, and then also
That's
has
good news.
both-
No, Lubie and I were concerned about your health.
No, no,
and
and I-
I'm
weight.
eating healthier. Just
I know sometimes you got to throttle back. And now for the next 5 weeks until Father's Day and my birthday, I can throttle back and just subsist on, healthier things, the lean meats, the proteins, the vegetables, salads. And all
So
that.
if I put a 5-way in front of you right now,
No,
you would say no way.
I just chug the can of chili itself. That's
Okay,
it. I
all
don't
right.
need any carbs. It's like a mind. It just all of a sudden happens. So, but
It's
you know
mind
what's
over
going to be?
matter. You can do it. I know you
know
can
what-
do it.
You know what's going to be one of my great friends for the next 5 weeks is
Poker.
Well, that yes, because I could sublimate the.
By the
eating.
way, your wife and daughter look lovely. Your ex-wife had posted a picture of the
Oh, okay,
visit to
yeah.
Runway 84, and they were wearing like matching outfits. Which,
They were twinning.
That
They
had,
were
that had to throw you off a little bit. Did you feel like you were being tag teamed, or?
when I picked them up, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And of course, I was in my like blue jeans and blue shirt outfit, so
Yeah.
we were all like the family in blue. It was very
Surprised you didn't get thrown out of there.
kinda-
I
it was
mean, they would have
kinda-
thought you were a cult.
kind of cheesy. Where was I? Oh, my friend for the next 5 weeks is going to be Delaware Chicken Farm and
Oh,
Seafood
there you go.
Market,
Nice.
Because when you want to go like high quality, high protein, low carb diet, that is fantasy land. I mean, I will be like Nick Cage in there when I walk around with my little cart and say, "Hey, give me some of those sausage links.
Yeah.
Give me some of those steaks. Give me that lobster." And give me the shrimp and give me 5 pieces of fish. And I'm going to just have myself a low carb, high protein, keto friendly weekend coming up. And yeah, that's it. That's the place to go, because you can go in there and even the fish dip is keto friendly because it's got nothing but the smoked fish and the mayonnaise. And again, it's one of those things. If you're looking to shed a few pounds and go low carb, they will be your friends there. They will guide you through it. And Doug Carter and his crew, they pride themselves on having the freshest in seafood, meats, and poultry. They've been doing it a long time. They're at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. And besides the things in the display case, they also have grab and go items like the broasted chicken, which is healthier than the fried chicken, and they also have things like the well, we're going to be talking next week with the fine people from the food company out of Miami. At this time, well, the same people that provide the Braveheart beef also has various pork products, and we're going to be talking pork with them for the upcoming holiday weekend. Ribs, which was a topic of discussion during yesterday's barbecue day. But again, barbecue weekend is coming up with Memorial Day, and you can get the ribs and some of the pork loins and other pork products we're going to be discussing with them, and that's going to be fun. So go into Delaware, go online to check out their latest specials and offerings at DelawareChicken.com and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Great spot, no doubt about it. I mean, they have everything you could possibly need there. And you remember the Atkins diet when it first came out? It was so weird to think you could eat like all the lobster that you wanted, all of the meat that you wanted, and then it turned out to be not really a very healthy thing for you. But
I used to carry around a bag of bacon when I was
yeah,
on the Atkins diet.
Max and that, yeah,
Always thought
it worked too. You would lose like 5 pounds, but then you would have a heart attack.
exactly.
And lose the rest of it in the hospital as you awaited surgery. But and then there was the Gene Atkins diet, the former Dolphin, which was a salad and a Molotov
Everything.
cocktail. Yeah,
Oh, I was thinking of the Eddie Blake diet, which is eat everything in sight. So
Earthquake Blake, one of my all-time favorite Dolphin
great.
players, nearly got Marino killed in a practice, and then Shula shifted him from offensive line to defense right after
won't
that
be
play.
him no more. Yeah, that's
Great. All right, back with more Mike Mayo's dietary lunchbox in a moment.
Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. With a huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, daily specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day. Open 7 days until late. Parking available on site. Happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at ArubaBeachCafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox, going through the chat line here. Judy, Green-Eyed Girl asks, are all three of you coming up this way to Delray tomorrow to Deck 84? Defo, are you in?
I'm in, man. I want to meet Burt Rappaport.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now, just to give you a little pre-production note, that Burt is not the Burt in Burt and Jack's.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
That was Burt Reynolds, as people know, and Jack was Jack Jackson,
Yes,
who
yeah,
had a
Jack
couple of
Jackson. You're right,
steakhouses.
yeah.
He was the restaurateur.
But he's
part.
owned every other restaurant. Burt
But
Rappaport, yeah.
Burt Rappaport was involved with Prezzo's at various locations. I think there was a place, it was down by the what's the big mall? The Dadeland Mall. There was a place,
Dadeland Mall?
Razzles. Does that ring a bell from the early 80s? Something, was it called Raffles or Razzles or something?
Raffles, maybe? Yeah, that could be.
Raffles, I think, was like a huge hit, and that was Burt. and I think at the time his partner Dennis Max, and they're still involved with Max's Grill in Boca Raton, and Bert has Deck 84 in Del Rey, along with Bert and Max's in Del Rey. So Bert Rappaport, a longtime noted legendary South Florida restaurateur, and his dad actually owned and operated a well-known kosher dairy restaurant in New York, and the name of that restaurant was Rappaport. So it was a rival to Ratner's, and this was back when things were hardcore kosher, that there were delis that had just the meats, and then there were kosher dairy restaurants that had the smoked fish and the cream cheese and the appetizing thing with the bagels. And yeah, Bert's dad owned Rappaport's, was a long-time Manhattan kosher dairy restaurant. So anyway, I always like talking to Bert. He's a good dude, and that will be tomorrow at Deck 84. So yes, all three of us will be there. A Green-Eyed Girl. Tom T weighs in on the great lobster size debate. He says 1.5 pounds is the best size, and I'm going to trust him on that, because that's a guy who is an expert chef. And
those 5-pounders always look appealing, though. They really do.
Too big.
I mean, people share them usually. You don't see like one person usually downing a 5-pound lobster, but I have seen it where both parties in a table, a party of two, ended up with a 5-pounder, and you're looking over, going, "Man, that sure does look tempting to try that." See how it goes. Although the same theory applies. Yeah, the smaller ones.
I'm all about
better.
moderation these days, so I will have some lobster, good lean protein, and but it'll be the pound and a half.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Yeah.
Again, being selfish, even though I'm really not the most selfish person, but I feel like your news has rocked my world, so I'm feeling selfish today.
Yeah.
Do we have to change how we eat at these places? Because I'm gonna have a bagel at Grandpa's, and
you don't have to do anything. You don't have to adjust. I mean, it's not like I'll cave and just start devouring everything in my path.
Well, what's the over-under on when you finally break down and go back to what you were doing?
June 17th.
You're only 2 days. You do seem determined once you put a target date up that you're able to reach.
As long as it's an attainable goal. Like if I said, "Oh, I'm going to go keto from now forever," which I do believe is not the healthiest thing for you. And Joanne, look, I see there's a lot of chatter about what's healthy, what's not. Look, everybody knows their own bodies, what works for them. Obviously, I do it in consultation with doctors and medical professionals.
You consulted a physician on this?
No, but it's
good. Come on, Mayo.
I could go keto for 5 weeks.
I mean, you're starting to sound like a politician from the Republican
keto
Party.
Is the Atkins diet.
George Santos Mayo.
Your body goes into ketosis, which means that it things happen with your
keep the walk of life going though too. All right, get out there on the streets, move that body around.
You know what I've learned, Defo, is that even if I can't do the full 4 miles a day,
do whatever you can. Move something.
Doing 2 miles or 2.5 miles is better than doing nothing. So
absolutely the truth. Every day.
Even if I could just get out there for a half hour or 40 minutes, that's what I do. And
better than sitting around.
It's better than sitting around. So that is the lesson for the day. I'm sorry I'm not stuffing my face. Tomorrow I'm sure I'll be.
It's very unfortunate. I mean, the show's going to suffer, but people will be happy if you're healthier.
We're going to do a salad eating competition of like how fast I could eat a chef salad.
No dressing.
No dressing. No, nobody said anything.
We lost it.
You froze on that. Yeah, of course. All right. Well, you want us to sign off here? Let me.
We
have lost Mayo. With that note, we'll tell you that while Mike Mayo is not eating any bread, you can enjoy every sandwich.